The hardest part wasn't the event. People think the hardest part of India Energy Week was managing 2 exhibition pavilions. It wasn't. The hardest part happened before the event even began. The event was in Goa, and before we could build a communication system, we first had to build the team capable of running it. When you operate in a city like Mumbai, you can usually find experienced photographers, cinematographers, editors, and production specialists. Goa is different. For an event of this scale, the challenge wasn't just finding people, it was finding people who could perform under pressure. So before the event even started, we had to identify, evaluate, coordinate, and integrate an on-ground team that could work as one. And that's where most projects either succeed or fail. Once everyone arrived, something became obvious. Talent wasn't enough. A room full of talented people doesn't automatically become a high-performing team. So we stopped thinking about roles and started thinking about rhythm. Then we brought together writers, designers, photographers, videographers, cinematographers, video editors, publishers, quality controllers, social media managers, and project leads. They weren't separate departments, they became one operating unit. From there, everything followed a rhythm: capture, verify, create, review, approve, publish, monitor. People usually ask us how many assets we created. The better question is, how much coordination did those assets represent? We delivered more than 100 critical communication moments, over 250 assets across 2 integrated pavilions, reaching more than 5.8 million stakeholders. But every number represents hundreds of decisions made correctly. Inside the playbook, what actually made this work? Design the flow. Here's the first lesson: high-performing teams don't happen because talented people are sitting in the same office. We're a virtual first organization. Our writers, designers, editors, strategists, and specialists work from wherever they do their best work. We only build on-ground teams when the assignment genuinely requires physical execution. So our operating model can never depend on location, it depends on flow. Before any project begins, every person answers 4 questions. What am I receiving? What exactly do I own? What does success look like? And who receives my work next? When those answers are clear, work keeps moving. Not because someone is chasing it, because the system already knows where it needs to go. Playbook, O2, create visibility. The second lesson changed how we think about leadership. The goal isn't to make every decision yourself. It's to build a system that only sends you the decisions that actually require your judgment. If leadership spends a day asking, has this gone live? Who's handling this? Where are we? The problem isn't communication, the problem is visibility. Information should arrive before questions do. 1 live dashboard, 1 owner for every work stream, 1 reporting rhythm, 1 shared definition of what done actually means. When leaders stop chasing updates, they finally have time to lead. Playbook 03, protect the rhythm. The third lesson only becomes obvious under pressure. Most teams respond to pressure by changing the process. The best teams don't. Pressure isn't the time to invent a new workflow. It's the time to trust the one you've already built. Don't change roles. Don't create new approval paths. Don't move conversations to 5 different channels. Don't keep changing priorities. Change one thing, the pace. Everything else should remain predictable. Playbook 04, eliminate ambiguity. And the final lesson: most execution failures aren't caused by lack of effort, they're caused by assumptions. Someone assumes the latest file is being used. Someone assumes another person approved it. Someone assumes somebody else is handling the problem. Before every major project, we answer 5 questions. What outcome are we trying to create? Who owns every decision? How do we escalate if something goes wrong? Where does everyone see the latest status? And what does done actually mean? When those answers exist, teams stop guessing and start executing. Bridge back to the story. None of these ideas are complicated. The difficult part is practicing them before the pressure arrives. That's exactly what happened in Goa. By the time the event began, the hard work was already done. The real achievement wasn't speed, it was confidence. Leadership never had to ask, has that gone live? Where are the approvals? Who owns this? Those questions disappeared because the system answered them before they needed to be asked. I've realized something after projects like this. Communication isn't what organizations do after decisions are made. Communication is part of how decisions become valuable. That's why we don't just build campaigns. We build operating systems that allow leaders to focus on leading. Pressure reveals systems. Preparation creates confidence. Leadership needs visibility. Execution needs rhythm. Every important moment deserves a system.